Hey everyone, welcome back to Astrology Beans, and this is part 2 of Sheikh Hamdan's astrological chart with his houses. As I mentioned in part 1, a friend of a fan was able to calculate a guesstimated birth time for him, which provided me with his houses. The first video, I went over kind of what houses are, why they're so important, and then discuss the planets. And in this video, I'm just going to kind of jump right in and talk about the signs in those houses. So starting off with his first house here in Scorpio, your first house is your house of self. So these individuals are usually very strong and kind of silent, reserved presence. Not the kind of person that goes overlooked in a crowd. They may be told that they're intimidating or intense as they carry themselves with a strong sense of importance. They're very compassionate, yet easily skeptical of people and situations. Second house in Sagittarius here. This is your house of possessions. These individuals are extremely humble and modest. These individuals don't really want to expand on material objects or worry too much about being traditionally successful. Like, their end game is not to have the nicest everything, or having all the money in the world. Money is not what brings them true happiness. They must constantly be doing something pertaining to the expansion of the mind. So they're constantly learning. They'll kind of feel stuck, unhappy with themselves if they're not doing something that expands their mind. Where there is knowledge, there's passion. So the third house here in Capricorn, your third house is your house of intelligence. These are kind of the slow and cautious people. They may feel they're kind of introverted or have a hard time expressing or conveying their thoughts to others. So around certain individuals or in certain situations, they may kind of feel stifled, like they're not able to speak up. To say what's really on their mind. They try and focus on the big picture, but sometimes can get stuck on the minor details of things. They want everything to be smoothed out and perfected before executing any decision or plan. Fourth house over here with Aquarius. This is your house of your home. So they kind of seek a unique home life of independent individuals that are brought together in unity from time to time. But these individuals have to be capable of taking care of themselves. So he does not want to take care of anybody. Constantly breaking traditions. He doesn't want a traditional home life. Setting out kind of open-minded home environment where everybody's free to express themselves and kind of be their true selves. This can kind of be challenging. They kind of have a problem with bonding with people on emotional levels on one-on-one standpoints. But in big groups, they thrive, which growing up with so many siblings, I can see how he would kind of thrive with big family gatherings. Fifth house in Pisces. Fifth house over here, Pisces. Your fifth house is creativity, romance, children. So there may be a tendency to disillusion your lovers, making them more of another worldly entity than an actual person at times. This placement comes with a lot of great expectations and grave disappointments. As your sights are constantly set higher than the dimensions they dream in, you must learn to find what makes you personally happy within yourself. Fall in love with what is fact over fiction, and you will always be happy. You are a hopeless romantic and a dreamer, and there is nothing wrong with this. But make sure you are protecting your mind and your heart. 6th house in Aries. This is your house of health, work, and routine. So these individuals are very fiery, personable. This person gets things done as they're always like sees tasks through. Unless they overcommit to things, and then they have a tendency to flake out or not always complete a task. They have a tendency to burn themselves out or overwork themselves due to their passionate disposition. 7th house over here in Taurus. This is your house of partnerships and marriage. Possessive and assertive towards the people that they care about. Perhaps even controlling or territorial at times. They have a hard time with conflict and sometimes maybe overly aggressive to diffuse issues that arise. Or they could just ignore them altogether and refuse to address them, which can be an issue because you never want to bottle up any emotions or feelings because they'll come out at the wrong time. They want a serious and committed relationship, and they're not particularly fond of casual flings. 8th house, Gemini, house of sex, death, and the loss. So these individuals will feel truly fulfilled in relationships where they are understood. To be understood, these individuals must be with someone that understands that they're always changing and constantly adapting to new philosophies and ideas. You can't be held back or hindered intellectually, or else you will feel frustrated and stuck. Rebirth is constantly going on and will occur when you learn to accept destructive behavior or words that have been said to you that are not so nice. And instead, sympathize for the person who said it and learning not to personally identify with nasty sentiments as they don't define your true being. The 9th house over here in Cancer, your house of travel, spirituality, and law. A fear of the unknown that could potentially hold you back at times. When you learn to adapt to the worldviews around you and remain open-minded and neutral to higher entities and powers, you can find true freedom and reach a higher level of happiness and understanding. 10th house, Leo, right here. Your 10th house is your career and social position. And when I saw that it was Leo in his 10th house, I sat there and I was like, of course it is. Because usually, that's kind of, those individuals tend to be celebrities, well-known individuals. So thriving within your work environment comes easy for you as you are very sociable and naturally compassionate. You enjoy working hard due to the positive attention and feedback that you receive. Being a person of interest within your workplace gives you an overall satisfaction within your job and yourself. Next is the 11th house in Virgo, house of friendships and aspirations. So this person, so you are a person of a you don't have big groups of friends. So you're more into the small groups of people that surround you versus like huge groups, cliques, things like that. So I would be willing to bet that he's surrounded by a lot of people all the time, and he has a lot of people around him. But I would be willing to bet that he's closer to some of those individuals than he is other people. So he's not as close to everybody. Some are just closer than others. So some friends you do have, you're extremely faithful and close with. You have the ability of making your dreams a reality as you are always well aware on what is realistic. Your realism can execute your sense of drive and passion into substantial rewards. Finally, we have the 12th house over here in Libra. And your 12th house is the house of the subconscious. So these people appear strong and unafraid to the world. They are typically drawn to darker colors and an image that shows their most daring attributes. They are groundbreaking and innovative. Underneath this, they are in fact concerned with how others perceive them and wish to please others, but have a hard time being emotionally vulnerable or exposed on an intimate level. So they are in constant fear of being rejected or betrayed. So that's what I have for his houses. If you have any questions or comments about what we've gone over through these 6 videos on his birth chart, let me know and I can address them. If you like this video, hit like. I will have more videos with tarot and things like that, so hit subscribe so you don't miss those. And like I said, if you have any questions about his chart, let me know. Now that I've gone over his houses, this kind of completes his birth chart, so I'm not really going to talk about his birth chart much anymore. Maybe if he has some big things coming up, maybe I'll talk about that. But other than that, let me know what you think, and thank you for listening.